This is the brand new Consolidated Outland Nomad, and it is the ship manufacturer's attempt to fill in the gap between the Aegis Avenger and the Drake Cutlass. It's got a sleek design, perfectly suitable for atmospherical flight, an open canopy which, despite its struts, offer a fantastic view when you are about to land at some of the trade outposts, which is its terrain of predilection, and brand new Xi'an technology landing gear, which for sure is going to be quite controversial for those who are xenophobic a little bit. But let's also not forget that it is Consolidated Outland's attempt to create a space pickup truck, which is why it has this open cargo area in the back, and to be frank, I can't wait to see how functional it is. And to find this out, well, I'm gonna have to get inside, and we'll see the interior of this ship after those messages. This video is brought to you by the people who support this channel on Patreon and via the join button as well. Supporters of the channel get access to lots of cool perks such as access to my private Discord, your question answered in the show, you get to know when I'm going to play, and also you get to have a chance to influence the editorial line of the channel. Any help is appreciated, starts at just $1 a month. Thank you very much for watching. This is The Eradicator, and I'll see you guys later. Well, one thing that struck me when I got inside was just how dark the interior is. Probably this could explain why this is a starter ship. Probably Siler must have spared some cash into interior lights. Now here we can see the back window, again a very tiny window, but at least I suppose that you can have a quick peek at the cargo that's at the back of your ship. You can even open and close it from here, which is definitely a nice touch. It also has some weapon racks, or whatever rack, places where you'll be able to put stuff inside, which is fantastic when you have a ship with an interior, meaning that you'll be able to add some versatility to your trips. Whether you go to a place that has a very hot atmosphere or cold atmosphere, you'll be able to store some of your dedicated gear, and that is giving you extra choice for your excursions. This is the bed here. It is not a big bed, but it does have a screen above you in case you want to watch some TV or maybe the latest trends if you want to trade. This is the pilot seat with some very, very nice looking brown coffee-like leather, very comfy actually, one of the most comfortable seats from the Consolidated Outland lineup. And speaking of comfort, I like the visual comfort of that screen here, which surrounds you as you are sitting here in the cockpit. It looks very functional indeed and very intuitive. It's very easy to tell which button goes where. Now let's get out of here. So I'm going to call the ATC here at Nubabich Interstellar Starport, and we are going to take this baby for a spin. Now, the takeoff was very smooth thanks to those brand new landing gear here, those Xi'an technology landing gear, and I gotta say that it's not just the takeoff that was smooth, but the whole ride here in this snowstorm that is engulfing here at New Babbage, and that is probably because of this very sleek aerodynamic design that we mentioned earlier. It is of course much better to put it into practice as we are doing here. Let's see how fast it can go as we are leaving the atmosphere of Macrotech, trying to boost it here. Let's see how fast we go until it overheats up 270 meters per second. That is not as much as the Mercury Star Runner, obviously, but we could see at the back of the ship that it doesn't have the same thrusters as the Mercury Star Runner. They're much smaller as well, which could explain why it is not as fast. Now, one thing though that seems to be as worrisome as the Mercury Star Runner is its fuel consumption. I just got out of the starport and I just saw that I consumed already 6% of my entire hydrogen fuel tank, which is not a good sign for what I intend to do today with this ship, because what are we going to do today? We are going to do what this ship is supposed to be good at. We are going to be transporting boxes, and we are going to do as well light trading at the same time. And if we are consuming, there we go, 90%, 89%, that is going down very fast. I am afraid that we won't be able to make it until the end. Well, we shall see. That's probably going to be the challenge of this video. In the meantime, I'm also checking the components of the ship, and I can see that it has a triple shield indeed. These are size 1 shields. I'm probably going to replace them with probably 1 palisade and 2 FR66. The cooler's arc systems are also going to have to be replaced as well, with probably something like an Ultra Storm. Let's get some missions here. Let's always take the call to arms. You never know if you are getting yourself into some kind of entanglements with the Ninetales or any other kinds of bandits. You can always get a little reward, and we are going to take a delivery mission, and those only pay 8,000 Alpha UEC. I am afraid that quite a big chunk of the reward is going to get into refueling the ship. That is why I'm going to have to make sure that I can go to various locations where I will be able to trade back and forth and gradually increase the profit that I'll be making doing those missions. So I'll be taking this one here, which will take me to New Babbage, Cleo, and another outpost on Macrotech. This seems about perfect. So here we go. Let's take this, and we'll first pick up those boxes here at Buzzglory on Urtepi. That's going to be definitely a most pleasant trip. Nice to see also that the content drive is not nearly as slow as the content drive on ships like the Avenger or the Gladius. The Nomad definitely is not wasting any time jumping into content drive, and we are reaching our destinations pretty quickly. That is most welcome for a ship that is dedicated to making money by doing light trade. Because remember, when you are doing light trade, when you're doing courier mission, time is money. You want to make as much money as possible in as little time as possible as well. Speaking of that, let's see how quickly it can go here. 470 meters per second in the atmosphere of Utopia. That's not bad at all. This is probably going to get us to Buzzglory here, our destination, in little time. So well, we're probably going to do that in external view as well, so that we can have, there we go, we can already see the lights of the outpost, and we're going to see how much of a soft landing the Nomad is capable of. Well, we already know that some of the other ships, whether they have wheels or actual pads, sometimes can get some rough landing. The Nomad, of course, has some unique features here, with those landing gear being made of Xi'an technology. These are maglev landing gear, something that we've never seen in the verse so far, at least not with an actual ship. We've seen that with motorcycles made by Xi'an corporations, but not with ships. Here we have it. Let's just go down a little bit, not just in front of the ramp. Let's advance a little bit forward, and there we have it. It's pretty much it. Very smooth. Ooh, lots of steam here on the floor, on the ground, but that's about right. So yeah, it's time to trade. What are we buying here? We are buying distilled spirit. This is the most valuable commodity. Only 23 SCU of cargo capacity, and you will see why. That is very strange. First, let's carry some of the boxes. I put all of my 3 boxes outside, and we'll put them here. We'll see if we can put them here in the back bed of the Nomad, and you can see that as I'm going to place them here right next to the cargo boxes, there's just, in theory, just enough time, but for some reason the boxes seem to be attracted by the cargo boxes and glitch inside them, which leaves me a little bit worried. I really wonder if I'll be able to complete my mission or not. So well, we'll just leave those 2 here in the cargo section, and I'm going to leave the 3rd box in the interior of the ship just in case. So that ladder here also looks very well designed. Luckily, thanks to the low gravity of Utopia, I am able to place that box in the ship. Boom, let's just put it here, and we'll casually walk over it just like that. No, the door is already closed, so I don't need to close it myself. That is wonderful. Oh, that door here, those sensors, this is not just the only ship that has that. I also noticed that the Mercury Star Runner's door sensors have some issues. Those doors tend to close on top of us, which represent some serious danger hazard. I also noticed the back door is not closed, so we can just close exterior just like that by pressing that button, and that's what it does. The cargo area just retracts like that toward the hull of the ship. It is very nice. It is a very nice animation for sure. So I think that we are ready to go, and yes, there is a hole in my 24 boxes of cargo. They're supposed to be completely full, but for some reason one of them here is not filled. I suppose that this is because of a bug maybe created by those boxes. Nevertheless, let's get out of here, and we should be going on our way to Cnou for our very next for our first drop-off. Sorry, we have 3 drop-offs. The first drop-off is going to be on Cnou. It's just 15,000 kilometers away. It's very close. The 2 moons in Cnou and Urtepi, I mean, they're a very close distance, so that definitely is an ideal route that is going to spare me a lot of time. It's always a pleasure to go to Cnou. Unfortunately, I don't know why. I always end up at night. I would like to trade during the day because Cnou features, in my opinion, some of the most beautiful skies in the entire extended system. The beautiful emerald sky during the day and pink sky in twilight, as well as during dawn. We can see a little bit of that pink hue here in the back. Anyway, we are about to arrive at our outpost. Now, the good thing is that we are at some kind of icy plain, so we're not going to be bothered by mounty terrain so much, not too rugged, and that is also going to help for visibility because, well, the lights of the Nomad, just like the lights of the Mercury Star Runner, are not so great. I wish that they could illuminate the surroundings a little bit better. That would definitely help for night landing. And speaking of landing, that was another decent landing. I am overall quite happy with the landings of the Nomad. A nice little ship for sure. So we're going to have our very first drop-off here at this Ryanair Science outpost on Cnou. Let's get through the airlock. We definitely don't want to bring that filthy air inside the protected cocoon of this outpost, and we'll just drop it off here at the drop box. I was checking, yes, there is definitely a trade terminal. I haven't been here much time because I usually trade agricium and titanium, but here we can only buy science things, you know, like for example stims or medical supplies, which is, I think, what we are going to end up buying. However, if my memory is correct, they do accept those distilled spirits. Maybe they are going to transform them into medical supplies. I don't know, right? I'm not much of a scientist. Let's check out. The Nomad is being detected. We'll sell all those distilled spirits here for a profit of 2,500 alpha USD, which is going to pay for the fuel. That's quite alright, I think. But next, it's better if I click on buy, not sell. We are going to select again the Nomad, and here we are going to buy those medical supplies at 17 alpha USD and 23 cents per unit. It is quite close to the base price, so that's alright. It's a decent price for medical supplies. Oh, looks like the transaction has failed for some reason. I suppose that it does take a little bit of time for the cargo to be unloaded. You can see that it just went to from 0 to 20 empty SC of cargo. 20, that's very strange. Maybe that's because of the 2 boxes that are in the back. Well, we'll see when we get to the ship, but it definitely looks like I'm only going to be able to buy 20 SCU of medical supplies. We'll see. All right, looks like the transaction has succeeded, so we'll be having a look outside to see if that's the case or not. And it looks like it is the case. And on top of that, it does look like those 2 boxes have decided to position themselves perfectly on both sides of the cargo area. So that'll be very easy for me to just pick them up and drop them off at their desired locations. So it looks like our job here is done. Cleo, time to say goodbye to the beautiful Emerald Bowl and head towards Markotech, the icy bowl of the Stanton system. Alright, well, that's going to be a short trip again, but something worries me. Did you see that I only have 48% of hydrogen fuel and I still have 2 drop-offs to make? In addition to that, also I'm going to have to get to a starport or at least a base or a station if I don't want to end up stranded. Now, I want to see if the Nomad is capable of doing the job without doing that, because, well, if you have to stop for refueling, you are definitely going to waste a lot of time. Remember, in Star Citizen, time is money. What matters is not the payout, but how much time it takes for you to get your payout. And, you know, if it takes you 10 minutes to get 6,000 FI UEC. That's definitely better than if it takes you half an hour to get 6,000 FI UEC, if you see what I mean, right? Anyway, we are now going to SMO22, which is one of the mining and science outposts on Markotech. I like this location because here is a place where we can buy astatine. Astatine is a very nice commodity that provides a very good profit, especially if you come here with a caterpillar. It's also quite convenient with those two large pads if you come with a staffer. I sometimes do both. Ooh, looks like finally the lights of the Nomad decided to work. Well, that's maybe because we're in the middle of a snowstorm. Once more, when we are in snowstorm, anything illuminates your surrounding, even the lights of an origin ship. Oh, looks like the boxes now have been attracted once again by the cargo boxes of the ship. Well, that was still that was a close one, but I was still able to get them. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to get as fast to the outpost as I did on Utopia and Cleo, simply because the gravity is not the same, and there's also that snowstorm that could have pushed the ship as well. Some of those snowstorms can be a little bit rough, a little bit violent, and can sometimes push you and the ship where you don't want to be. Eventually you end up stuck on a light post. That is not ideal if you want to continue your mission. Nevertheless, finally got it to safety here inside. That's a different configuration. There's the drop box right here. Let's put the box inside, please. Come on, open sesame. It takes a little bit of time. All right, it's working good. So let's place it inside. And I'm always waiting to see if it's working, but I don't have a lot of time. So we'll go straight to the trade terminal, and we'll be selling those medical supplies. So we bought for 34,000 FI UEC, and here we are selling for 38,000 FI UEC, a profit of 4,000 FI UEC plus 2,500. That is an overall profit of 6,500 FI UEC with the trade that I've done on top of the money that I'll be getting when I am completing this mission, which is starting to look quite good. I like my odds so far. I like the idea of making, if I am correct, because I'm going to buy and sell astatine for even more money, I should be able to make quite close to 20,000 Alpha UEC for about 40 minutes of gameplay, which, remember guys, that the Nomad is a starter ship. When you have a starter ship, that kind of income per hour is actually quite decent. So now let's buy that astatine for 17,000 Alpha UEC, and this is some astatine that we'll be selling at the commons at New Beach, and I've got to go to the commons now. Why? Because probably that last box is going to be stuck in the cargo. I just realized later, a bit too late, that I should have picked up that box and put it in the interior. I'm going to waste a little bit of time. Hopefully this is not going to get me stranded, and hopefully this is not going to make me have to abort the mission. We'll see. We'll see. That is part of the risk. I always like to say that I like to live dangerously. Alright, on our way back to Markotech, speaking of living dangerously, you will see that the hydrogen fuel is really depleting very dangerously. And just as I hit the quantum drive, it did say that it was at 25%, and I have two landings to do here at New Beach. We're going to fly in atmosphere, which is what is the most fuel consuming, so I am very nervous about my chances here, but we shall see. The top priority right now is to get rid of the cargo that I bought. I've got 24 SU of astatine worth 17,000 of UEC, which we'll be selling here at the commons. I'm not going to the starport, it's even further. There's a possibility to land here just outside of the commons, and for those of you who are new to Star Citizen and are maybe not accustomed to Star Citizen and the best practices of the game, let me show you that you don't always have to land at the starport, at least not here on New Beach. There is that exterior the exterior entrance just there. I'm going to make a landing. The lights are on, but the lights of the Nomad unfortunately are not very powerful. Something that I ranted about at the start of this video with the interior lights. It looks like the exterior lights as well are not very good as well. Let's get a little bit closer. As I always say, the more time we save, the more money we make per hour. So I want to get as close as possible. Not too close, obviously. We don't want to block the entrance for ground vehicles. This looks like it is about right. I like really much those shear landing gears, which is a little bit floaty, but they don't look so bumpy. It doesn't feel as bumpy as regular landing gear, and that is a nice little gimmick for sure, but nevertheless adds extra comfort. And this is what happened. Oh no. A 30k. What is a 30k? A 30k is when the server disconnects. This happened to me a second time in a row. Now eventually I was able to make it to the TDD, and luckily, because I had the message that said landing complete, it looks like I am able to sell my astatine for a profit of, again, 4,000 Alpha UEC. Very nice, but I will not be able to complete my mission. I will not be able to get those 8,000 Alpha UEC. I will not be able to see if I will be able to complete the mission without running out of fuel, and that is perhaps the most frustrating part of this video. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope that you enjoyed this little show here. I hope that you enjoyed this presentation of the Nomad and what it does best. I think that the fuel consumption is quite dreadful on this ship. Is this going to be readjusted in the future? Is it a bug? Only time will tell. Right now it's the weekend, but as we get to Monday, I expect the devs to be addressing the situation for sure. This is the Eradicator. Have a wonderful day, everyone. I'm signing out.